What is up, toy freaks? Welcome to this episode of the Pickups. These are Lego minifigures, and in this episode, you're going to see a whole bunch of Lego minifigures. It's a pirate's life for me. Arr! All right, so you can see the giant mess that I have in my living room right now, and this is all from a rummage sale. Well, I'll get to this. But basically, it was the YMCA rummage sale. It's free to get in. You basically fill a box or a bag and give them money. Just make a donation. Got 4 boxes of like sports cards from like the mid 80s, mid 90s. Junk wax era, nothing crazy in there. I did pull a stack about yay thick of cards that I will collect. Like I said, we'll come back to this. Old Cabbage Patch. Look at that. Absolutely adorable. There's 9 Cabbage Patch dolls in there, extra outfits. There's like a little one. So just a lot of Cabbage Patch stuff. There are some birth certificates for the Cabbage Patch dolls. Now, if you collect stuff from the 80s, it's all about this paperwork and the boxes, you know. So this is probably going to be a pretty good seller. Snagged a Cincinnati Reds mini helmet, an Iron Man figure, bag of WWE figures, McDonald's Tiny Toons, Lego Speed Champions. So it looks like the Supra is correct, and then there's or complete, and then there's a bag of parts and minifigures and stuff in there. But it looks like there's a Jaguar and a Nissan, and then this was pretty cool. Nerf table hockey from way back in the day. It looks like it's complete. I'll get it together, but if not, you know, you can part these out and sell them for parts. So here's sort of the damage on that. I donated $40. I got all this stuff. Total of 57 items. That comes out to 70 cents per item. So I got some clothing items. It was an Under Armour day, I guess. But yeah, that's what we got at the rummage sale. Okay, so it was like the second or third garage sale. I saw this on Facebook last night, so I wanted to hit this garage sale, but they didn't really open till 9, so I kind of got there a little early, and, you know, lucky me. So $50 for this 3-drawer thing of Lego parts and pieces. So we'll get all that weighed. You can't even open that one. It's like basically all Lego in there, which is good. So I'll sell that by the pound. Looks like there's probably going to be about 30 pounds in there. Again, we'll do the weight and all that stuff. And I'll get you an exact number. Here is another bin that he had that they wanted $10 for. But this is where like all the minifigure stuff is. There's a Bib Fortuna headpiece, and if you guys know, that is a very expensive minifigure. So I'm guessing that there's probably going to be $100 or so worth of Lego minifigures once we get all this done. There's a Scooby-Doo. That's great right there as I just throw it. But you can see there's a bunch of minifigure heads and parts and pieces. Got a bunch of Star Wars. There's a look at that. Boom. That's a Count Dooku torso right there. So yeah. Oh, there's a Vader. I mean, yeah, this is going to be like minifigure rich once we get everything sorted, which is going to be awesome. But as you can see, there's also like some of these Jada Minecraft metal figures. Like there's a Jedi cloak. So yeah, I saw some Ninja Turtle stuff, a bunch of Star Wars stuff. So can't complain there. Paid $60 for this whole lot. I'll get it sorted. I'll get it weighed, and I'll let you guys know. All right, not a toy, but I wanted to show it off. I got these at the thrift store today for 99 cents. These are from the 1980s. These are Empire Pencil Company pencil boxes, like brand new, never used. This one obviously is just blue, but this one's got like the whole sticker on it and everything. So I thought those are really cool, and for 99 cents, I wasn't going to leave them. All right, so not everything is actually trash that I dig out of these Lego boxes. It's just not Lego stuff, so it ends up kind of becoming in the trash bin, right? I don't really separate. But we have, you know, little character pencil toppers or Spider-Man, you know, Marvel, Star Wars. These are missiles, probably from a Star Wars thing. I think I've sold this missile before. I think this goes to the General Grievous wheel bike, and I think those are about $8 a piece. You know, little figures and stuff like that. There's a couple Pokemon things in there, so I'm sure these will sell. This is a Ninja Turtle slash weapon. I don't know what these are yet, but I will try to identify them, and if they're sellable, cool. But these are like, you know, those Jada metal Minecraft figures. And you know, I might lot these up and throw these on the eBay store for really cheap, or at the end of the year, I'll take these to my local store, and these might trade in for like 50 cents or something. So, you know, you're looking at like $2.50 in trade right there. Something like that. Little, I couldn't tell if that was a Micro Machines guy or if that went to actually something else, but it's a blue Power Ranger. But anyway, that's just some of the stuff that comes out of those Lego boxes, you know, that isn't technically trash, that's resellable or keepable, but yeah. All right, some last minute grabs. We got this cute little Cabbage Patch. Look at this thing. It's like a little lion. Got that at thrift store today. Batman 1992 clear poly bag. The cellophane style poly bag for the minifigure. Really nice looking figure, man. That thing is awesome. The cowl and the cape are all one piece, and it looks like the Keaton Batman, obviously from 1992. I think that's Batman Returns, maybe. And then Tyler brought this over and hooked me up. It's like a 72 or 73 Pontiac. Does say rescue on it. I'm going to find out what set this is actually from. I don't know if this is from like a Pontiac set or a muscle car set, but if it's from a rescue set, I might try and hunt down the other vehicles that are rescue vehicles in that set. But man, what a sexy looking car. Very cool. It's been a while since we got a vintage Micro Machine, and there it is. So, hey, let's check out some minifigures. All right, before we get to the actual minifigures that we pulled, guys, we pulled a ton of minifigures out of this box, and we were able to complete a bunch of minifigures. It was great. It was a great box of Legos. This is a good purchase. But I think that, I know this isn't everybody's tea to go over the numbers. I think it's important, especially if you're going to buy or sell Lego, because you kind of need to know where your money's going and what you're getting for your money. If you're just buying totes just to buy totes, then I guess that's on you. But so again, 60 bucks. 27 pounds, 4 ounces of stuff, 20 pounds, 5 ounces is going to be bulk Lego. That I'm going to sell on Marketplace for $5 to $6 a pound. So you're looking at $100 to $120 back in cash, which is great. So we'll make 40 bucks or double our money. We'll be in that range, which is great. It's where you kind of want to be. Parts that I kept, 2 pounds, 6 ounces. Those are, printed parts or parts I'm using for other projects, parts I put away because I might need them later for something. And then this is a nice number right here, 1 pound, 14 ounces, almost 2 pounds worth of minifigure parts. Really, really good, especially when your total here is 22, 23, let's call it like 24 or 25 pounds here of Lego stuff. For 2 pounds of that to be minifigure parts is really good. Trash, waste, non-Lego, you guys just saw not all of it's actually trash or waste, but a lot of it's non-Lego. 2 pounds, 11 ounces. And then our items include Lego City, Lego Town, TMNT, Star Wars, Batman, DC, Scooby-Doo, collectible minifigure, Chima, and Speed Champions. Let's get to some minifigures. This is the bummer box. Whenever you put minifigures together, you're always going to have a bummer box. This is my bummer box for this time around. These are Lego minifigures that were almost completed. This is a robot cowboy missing the helmet, Riddler missing one purple hand, and I didn't have any of my extra parts bin. Collectible minifigure, the female Cyclops missing the sand blue hand. We got Wild Style missing the head. Jyn Erso from Star Wars missing the helmet. This was a bummer. This is Lego Princess Leia Bouche from Jabba's Palace, the torso and one of the legs, and that is a very expensive minifigure, but yeah, Wizard missing the hat. So this is the bummer box right here, but eventually we'll get these complete. We'll come across the parts, but what a bummer. All right, so we'll start with the basic Lego City, Lego Towns people. I don't know what's supposed to come with this guy, so I just gave him some stud shooters, but you can see just, common Lego minifigures, no big deal there. She's a collectible minifigure, but I didn't have the cat, so I'll just put her in the common bin. Got some astronauts, some pirates, some snowboard kids, and 64 reference if anybody knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, really nice to complete some of these. Usually I'll find like the legs and then I'll have the torso in my parts bin, or, like for the pirate, I had the hat and the head, and in this bulk buy was, the rest of the parts. But yeah, so these are just kind of the commoners that I was able to put together. Where's my guy? Here's my guy right here. This is my favorite guy out of the whole commons. This is the safety guy. This is the guy that everybody has at their work that walks around with a coffee, maybe some keys and a clipboard. You see him in the morning. You don't really know what he does. You don't know why he's even there. You don't know how much he gets paid. He's just there. He's the safety guy. You know, he's always telling you, make sure you got your badge on and your hard hat. But yeah, anyway, those are the comments. All right, so here's the next batch of minifigures. Before I talk about these, they had a very eclectic lot of Legos, classic, new. So I'm sure it's a mixture of the dad's Legos and the kids' Legos. There's some more pirate stuff, which is really cool to see. But the torsos, you know, this part right here, the torso part, they were all scratched up. The paint was ripped off. They were chewed up. So unfortunately, I had to like throw some of that away, which is an absolute bummer. But we got some TMNT stuff. Got some Foot Clan soldiers, a Dark Ninja. We made a couple Leonardos, which was really cool. I already have these, so these sell for, I don't know, like 15 bucks or so. This is the one I'm going to keep because I didn't have it. It's the Raphael with the armor. And he came in a set with this guy, which it's like a toxic tubular tunnel set or something. This guy's name is Victor. Looks like a slob, but we'll throw Victor in the parts box or in my Lego box. But I have like a shredder, and I've got, you know, the Dark Ninjas, and I've got Leonardos. Found a skateboard, which is cool for Leonardo. Scooby-Doo. These are kind of getting expensive. Shaggy and Scooby are still kind of, I don't know what you'd say, affordable. But when you get into Freds and Daphnes and Velmas, it can get kind of expensive. But we had a couple Scoobies. And what was funny is I have 3 more hair pieces and faces for Shaggy. But there were no more torsos. And you can see these dual printed arms, probably exclusive to this figure. There weren't any more of those. So I don't know what the hell happens to these Lego parts? You know, these kids, who knows? Some themes here. We got Speed Champions. This is a Nissan GTR driver, I think. So, yeah, I've got his helmet and his whatever. Wrench. I think he came with a wrench. Lego Chima. This is one of my favorite themes. I would say if you're getting into Lego collecting, check out Chima figures. They're really cool figures. You can see they're really well done. Let me try and set up the camera, because I'm going to take this bad boy apart. Live. Do it live. Get rid of the sword. Take off the helmet, the body armor. Making this video way longer than it needs to be. But, you know, you look at these figures and, you know, there's birds and lions and crocodiles. I don't really know all the names. Bats. But look at the printing, you know. Really nice printing. Leg printing, toe printing. You got dual expressions, back printing. They all come with these really cool helmets. They've got some type of armor or accessories. The weapons are really cool. And Chima figures are really cheap. So, and you can usually buy them in bulk. I bought a whole tub of them off of Marketplace a couple years ago for like 30 or 40 bucks. And it was all minifigures. It was crazy. Found this piece. This is the floating Lego Space Guy torso. Now, there is a specific minifigure this is supposed to go to, but it didn't have any of the parts. So I thought, let's be creative, because Lego's all about creativity, you know. So I created this dude. He's like a super fan of Lego and Lego space, and he's at this convention. He's got a classic space, you know, backpack and his little helmet, and he can go to the Lego convention and, you know, cosplay, I guess, as a Lego spaceman. So even though he's got a motorcycle helmet, that's part of the charm, is that it's not like authentic. You know what I mean? So I thought that was cool. I made that. I made it with my own 2 hands. This guy right here. All right, so we got some DC stuff here. They didn't have any Marvel stuff. I just kind of realized that. We got Man-Bat, Superman, General Zod, Lex Luthor, Wonder Woman, and then a Batman. You can't have a Lego box without completing a Batman with the cowl, which is awesome. I had never seen this before. I didn't, because I found this headpiece, and I didn't know what this headpiece went to. And then I turned it over, and I had the Batman, and I went, wait a minute. And then it's like an underwater Batman. And, of course, it was missing everything except for the blue cowl, and I had the blue cowl in my parts bin, which was really cool. It's a very dark blue, which is kind of neat. But, yeah, check out this Wonder Woman. Like, check out her, like, look at her legs. It's almost like a reddish color. So I'm sure that came out of the factory like that. I don't think it's a misprint or anything. I think it's just like a miscolor or something. But yeah, I was like, man, I would probably throw that part away. but it was like the legs and the torso, and then I had the arms and the head and the hair and the lasso in my parts bin, so I just put it together. Anyway, let's move on to my favorite theme, everybody's favorite theme, Lego Star Wars. All right, so let's talk Lego Star Wars. There they are. Check this out. This was a build that was in the box. I don't know if it was a poly bag or out of a advent calendar or something, but it's the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. Cool. This should not count as a minifigure. Han and Carbonite. Now listen, this is an integral part of the Star Wars story, you know, the original trilogy. But this is a part. This is not a minifigure. So, you know, I think Bricklink has this classified as a minifigure, which I thought was funny. You got your droids, you know, whatever. They are what they are. This one's kind of cool. I didn't realize that this particular droid comes with this little extra part that's like a jetpack. So that's nice. Clotonian, Skiff Guard, TIE Fighter Pilot. These are always cool to complete as a Sith Trooper. Just because you don't get a lot of the Stormtrooper or Clone Troopers that have red torsos. It's got sort of a Darth Vader motif to it. Very cool figure. BB-8. We got our ARC Troopers and ARC Commandos, stuff like that. Rey with the silver gun. I think she might be the only figure that has a silver gun, which is kind of neat. Bib Fortuna. I love this figure. This is like a $25 figure, which is kind of expensive for minifigures, but this is supposed to be silver or like a dark gray. And just over time, it's been worn off and rubbed. You know, someone was handling it, so it's still a good part. It's not cracked, so I'm going to keep it until I find a better part, and then we will upgrade. So those are sort of the basic Star Wars stuff. Happy to complete these two right here. This is Count Dooku. I have had all of these parts except for the headpiece for like 3 or 4 years. Go on Bricklink, make an order. I'm like, you know what? I won't get it this time. I'll find it in a box. Well, this was the time that I actually found it in a box. And that is a great minifigure. And because there was a extra torso in that box, I now have an extra torso for Count Dooku. So we can start making another one, I guess. But that silver curved lightsaber hilt. That's a great Lego piece right there. Get back on there. Count Dooku. And then this one, very, very happy to complete this one because I'm a huge Star Wars Rebels fan. This is Ezra Bridger. Now, this is sort of 2 Ezra Bridgers combined into one because the helmet and then the Ezra Bridger came in a Phantom set, and then with the hair and the gun or something came in a different set. So this part is exactly the same for all of the Ezra Bridgers. This is the expensive part right here. This helmet, it's exclusive to this set. Obviously, it's not a regular Stormtrooper or Clone Trooper helmet, but it only came out in these. It's like I think it's called the Phantom is the name of the set. It's got Ezra and Chopper, which is the droid. But I had the helmet, the hair, and the face print for like 3 or 4 years. The same time I had the Dooku. And then this was the time when I found the torso and the leg piece. So very happy to have that. I love Star Wars Rebels. If you haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, make sure you do because it's a great animated series. Covers a lot of Star Wars lore. Very cool. So those are the minifigures. Hey, guess what? I got more Lego to show you. So this was from that community sale, remember? So we were able to put some of that stuff together. We got the Toyota Supra. I really like this. My friend Tyler hates this set. He says it's a fake BMW. I got the minifigure, the other parts. The Jaguar, this Jaguar came with another car, like a Formula One car or something like that, a rally car or something. And it came with this sort of starting block thing, which is nice. But this car is kind of cool. I like the spoiler on it. I like the stickerage and the printing on the side. But yeah, anyway, always happy to get the Speed Champion stuff. I think other than like the Star Wars stuff, Speed Champions is probably the best Lego stuff for value. Great licensed sets, great minifigures, great cars. I mean, you can't go wrong with Lego Speed Champions, in my opinion. But anyway, like I said, completed those. Got those at the Rummage Sale. 70 cents a piece. How about that? All right, so let me explain. I turned the shadow box to try and get the light to come out here and sort of create like a scary horror motif. And all it did was flood the whole thing with the whole camera lens with, you know, light. So now it looks horrible. But you know what? We're ending the episode with that, and that's fine. That is going to do it for this episode of the Pickups Guys Rummage Sales, garage sale season. It is here, and I could not be happier. So hopefully toy pickups and video game pickups will start picking up. But that is going to do it. That is the haul for this time. What have you been picking up? Make sure you leave a comment down below. Man, I tell you what, these Star Wars ones, these make me very, very happy. Anyway, thank you for stopping by the Toy Freaks.